Are you struggling with credit card debt? This question, although simple, is one that a significant number of people would answer with a resounding yes. Credit card debt is a common issue that many of us face, and it's not just a financial problem. It's a stressor that can affect your daily life, your relationships, and your overall mental well-being. It's a burden that weighs heavily, and it's one that can seem impossible to lift, but it doesn't have to be this way. There are solutions, strategies that can be employed to not just manage, but overcome credit card debt. It may seem like an uphill battle, but with the right tools and guidance, it's a fight you can win. So if you find yourself in this situation, stay tuned as we guide you through the process of paying off credit card debt. Firstly, it's essential to understand your debt. Picture this. You're on a journey, a financial journey, but your map is blurred. You can't quite make out the roads, the turns, or the destination. That's what it's like trying to pay off debt without truly understanding it. Let's clear up that map. Consider your debt as an unwelcome house guest. To get rid of it, you need to know it. How much does it eat? That's the amount of debt you owe. When does it sleep? That's your due date. And how fast does it grow? That's your interest rate. Knowing how much you owe is your starting point. It's the total of your outstanding balances. This amount is what you're targeting to reduce to zero. You'll want to know this number down to the last penny. Then there are your due dates. These are the deadlines by which you need to make your payments. Missing these dates can lead to late fees and even higher interest rates. It's like letting your house guest stay over for another night, and each extra night costs you more. And speaking of costs, let's talk about interest rates. This is the cost of borrowing money, expressed as a percentage of your balance. The higher the rate, the more your debt grows over time. This is how your house guest eats. It's what allows it to grow bigger and bigger if left unchecked. But here's the crucial point. You can control it. By understanding your interest rates, you can strategize. You can focus on paying off the debts with the highest rates first, slowing down the growth of your overall debt. So, take a moment. Sit down with your statements, a calculator, and maybe a cup of coffee. Get to know your debt in all its details. Remember, debt is not a faceless monster. It's a problem, and like all problems, it has a solution. It may seem complex, but once you've got a good understanding, you'll find it's a puzzle you can solve. Knowledge is power. By understanding your debt, you're already one step closer to paying it off. Next, you need to create a budget. This might sound like a chore, but think of it more as a map. A good budget isn't there to limit your freedom. It's there to show you the way. So how do you go about creating a budget? First, you need to understand where your money is going. Start by listing all your income sources. This could be your salary, any side hustles, perhaps even that old guitar you've been meaning to sell on eBay. Now, let's look at your expenses. Write down everything you spend money on, from your morning coffee to your monthly rent or mortgage. Don't forget those little daily purchases. They can add up quicker than you think. Once you have a clear picture of your income and expenses, it's time to identify areas where you can cut back. Do you really need that daily latte? Or could you make coffee at home? Could you cook more meals instead of eating out? Remember, every dollar you save is a dollar you can put towards paying off your debt. But creating a budget isn't just about cutting back. It's also about allocating your money in a way that serves your financial goals. This is where debt repayment comes in. When setting up your budget, make sure to allocate a portion of your income towards paying off your debt. This should be above and beyond the minimum payment required by your credit card company. The more you can pay off each month, the less interest you'll accrue, and the faster you'll be debt-free. Now, don't be discouraged if your budget doesn't work perfectly right away. It might take a few tries to get it right. The important thing is to stay flexible, keep adjusting, and keep your eyes on the prize, a life free of credit card debt. And remember, budgeting is a skill, and like any skill, it gets easier with practice. Before you know it, you'll be a budgeting pro, and you'll be wondering how you ever managed without one. A well-planned budget is your roadmap to becoming debt-free. So grab your compass, plot your course, and let's get started on this journey to financial freedom. It's crucial to pay more than the minimum payment. Let's take a moment to explore why this is so important when it comes to reducing your credit card debt. Imagine you're climbing a mountain. Paying the minimum payment is like taking the smallest steps possible. Sure, you're making progress, but at such a slow pace that it could take you years to reach the top. Now, if you were to take bigger strides, you'd reach your goal much quicker, right? The same principle applies to your credit card debt. When you pay more than the minimum payment, you're essentially taking bigger strides towards your financial freedom. You're not just chipping away at the surface of your debt, you're digging deeper into the core, reducing the overall amount you owe much faster. Now let's delve a little deeper into the concept of compound interest, which is a key player in this debt game. Compound interest is the interest on your debt that's calculated based on the initial principal, which includes all of the accumulated interest from the previous periods. In simpler terms, it's interest on interest. This means the longer you take to pay off your debt, the more interest accumulates, making your debt mountain even higher. So when you pay only the minimum payment, you're mostly just covering the interest, with very little going towards the principal amount. But when you pay more than the minimum, you're attacking the principal directly, which in turn reduces the interest you'll have to pay in the future. Remember, every dollar counts. Even an extra $20 a month can make a significant difference in the long run. So, consider cutting back on unnecessary expenses or finding ways to increase your income. Every extra dollar you put towards your debt is like an extra stride up that mountain, bringing you closer to the summit of a debt-free life. It's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. The view from the top, free from the weight of debt, is absolutely breathtaking. So let's keep climbing. Remember, every extra dollar you pay is a step closer to a debt-free life. Have you considered debt consolidation? It's a question worth pondering when you're dealing with multiple debts. Imagine if you could take all of your debts, bundle them up, and replace them with a single manageable payment. That's the essence of debt consolidation. Debt consolidation is like cleaning up a room full of scattered toys by putting them all in one box. You still have the same amount of toys, but they're easier to manage, and you're less likely to trip over them. Similarly, when you consolidate your debts, you're not reducing the amount you owe, but you're simplifying your financial landscape. Instead of juggling multiple payments with varying interest rates, you'll only have one payment to worry about. The beauty of debt consolidation is that it can also potentially lower your interest rates. Let's say you have 3 credit cards, each with a different interest rate. When you consolidate these debts, you could end up with a single loan that has a lower interest rate than any of your cards. This means you'll be paying less in interest over the life of the loan, which can save you money in the long run. However, it's important to remember that debt consolidation is not a magic wand that erases your debts. It's a tool, and like any tool, it needs to be used correctly. You'll still need to make your consolidated payment on time and in full each month, and you'll need to resist the temptation to rack up more debt on your now empty credit cards. Debt consolidation can be a powerful tool in your debt repayment journey. It can simplify your payments, possibly reduce your interest rates, and help you stay focused on your goal of becoming debt-free. But remember, it's not a quick fix. It's part of a larger strategy that includes budgeting, paying more than the minimum payment, and staying committed to your financial goals. Debt consolidation can be a powerful tool in your debt repayment journey. Lastly, stay committed and monitor your progress. This is the final lap of your journey to financial freedom, and it's crucial to keep your eyes on the prize. Being committed to your plan means sticking to your budget, making those payments on time, and resisting the urge to swipe that credit card for non-emergencies. It might seem like a daunting task, but remember, every successful step you take is a step closer to a debt-free life. Monitoring your progress is equally important. Keep a track of your payments, see how your debt is reducing, and watch your credit score improve. It's a tangible proof of your efforts paying off and can be a great source of motivation. And amidst this, don't forget to celebrate your victories, no matter how small they may seem. Paid off your first card? Treat yourself to a small reward. It's these little moments of joy that make the journey worthwhile. Remember, the journey to becoming debt-free is a marathon, not a sprint. Let's recap what we've learned today. We dove into understanding your debt, acknowledging it for what it is, and recognizing its impact on your life. We explored the importance of creating a budget, a strategic plan that allows you to allocate your income wisely, ensuring you cover your living expenses while also chipping away at your debt. We discussed the value of paying more than the minimum payment on your credit cards, a simple yet effective strategy to reduce your debt faster. We also considered the option of debt consolidation, a process that could potentially simplify your payments and lower your interest rate. And finally, we emphasized the necessity of staying committed to your debt repayment plan and regularly monitoring your progress. This commitment is what will ultimately lead you to financial freedom. By following these steps, you can conquer your credit card debt and regain control over your finances. Thank you for watching, and remember, a debt-free life is within your reach.